I was with you in California when I noticed this. Never mind. I don't have to tell you. I'm going to tell you the story to remind you.
Okay.
But when I was in California, I pulled out one of my business cards to look at it. I was probably drunk. Mm-hmm. And that's when I discovered that on the back where it lists our values, it says, it's supposed to say collaboration, but it's spelled call abortion.
I remember the typo. I couldn't remember what the typo was.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also find the show on YouTube every Monday at namely90s.com/YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s, also with a 90s, and get signed up for one of our lovely support levels.
Yes, be our first Patreon follower in a year.
Yes. We are on our, not that we're pouting, we are on episode 101, the number of Dalmatians that were in that one movie that I forgot the name of. That was a 90s movie, right?
Air Bud, yeah.
Air Bud. 101 Air Buds.
The live action version of 101 Dalmatians was the 90s. We talked about it in an episode not too long ago.
That's the one with who's her butt? What's her face? Well, there's a more recent one.
Yes. We talked about Cruella, which was right. Emma Roberts. Nope. Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but the 101 Dalmatians live action, they had the two.
Oh, that's the one with Hugh Laurie.
Yes. Hugh Laurie was Cruella's henchman. One of two.
Did you know that cruel is the base word of Cruella?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know Maleficent is a portmanteau of magnificent? And I haven't really figured
malicious.
out. Yes.
Malfeasant, malevolent, benevolent. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ambivalent. I don't know. These are just words now.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Speaking of things rebooting itself, did you hear about that 90s show?
I did. And it sounds like, according to whatever news article I read that was probably stupid, that many of the original characters are going to reprise their roles, which I explained to you that reprise their roles in quotes is like a euphemism for show up once or twice to try to support a weak cast that will never take hold.
So, yeah, I mean, the premise is that Eric and Donna are sending their kids to go visit their grandparents. They specifically mentioned Deborah Jo Rupp and we just talked about this last week. Kurtwood Smith.
I can never remember his name. It's ridiculous.
That's Kitty and
Red
Foreman. Thank you. And I assume Bob still lives next door.
Bob.
And I assume he's on his fourth wife by that point. But yeah, and the only person not returning is Danny Masterson, because he has 3 alleged sexual assaults currently pending in court.
When it's 3, it seems less alleged, but it still is alleged in this country until otherwise proven.
Yes. And I mean, we support the victims, but legally we have to say words like alleged. We also support
our legal system as well. And then, of course, NCIS agent Wilmer Valderrama, or I forgot how to say his last name, /Fez.
You said it correctly.
Yeah, Fez.
Yes, Fez.
Which is a type of hat.
Is that problematic?
I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I feel like I also talked to you about another reboot that I already forgot about.
Yes, but it doesn't fall under our purview.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, it does not, because it's a reboot of.
It started in 2005. I didn't know that. We're referring to Iron Chef America, which I did not realize did not start in the 90s, so I apologize.
I mean, Good Eats didn't start until like
99. Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay.
Although Iron Chef Japan started in 93 or 94.
Aha!
So technically it might fall under purview
Not
if you
really.
want to talk about it.
But anyway, I just couldn't remember why we got onto the topic of the 90s show reboot.
Oh, yeah, because you were all excited about the show that you would actually watch, and then I was like, I was waiting to tell you this when we record, but it was still like 2 days away.
You know what I realized that's kind of funny? So that 80s show, that was the one where it was
I'm on a cellular phone.
So, but then I was watching the X-Files. I've been watching the X-Files, and I realized something kind of funny. So the X-Files came on right as cell phones like became more mainstream and became like part of TV. And so the funny thing is, like, they have cell phones.
Yeah.
But they still call each other on like landlines. And then they're like, but then they kind of use the cell phone sometimes.
I mean, we talked about this on
did we?
The episode where we watched for the Christmas specials this year, because they have cell phones, and like they have cell phones in the episode, but they don't think to use them once they're trapped inside the ghost house.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't have worked.
Or to like say, hey, I'm coming by to drop off a present for you.
But like, it's landlines. They just call each other like on the landline of wherever they are. And I'm like, what is this? Maybe because cell phones were unreliable back then? I don't know.
That, or it wasn't turned on, or you didn't have your battery charged. And batteries lasted much shorter. Like, I remember we would go fishing, me and my dad, we'd take our cell phone in a plastic Ziploc bag just in case
Classic
it got wet.
dad move.
Right? And then we wouldn't turn it on to call my mom to tell we're coming home until like we were actually coming in for the day. So it's like, yeah, the battery lasted like 30 minutes. Especially
if you played that snake game on the Nokia.
I don't know. Ours was a Motorola. And the Nokia, it wasn't the Nokia satellite phone still at that time, or did they have the cell phone?
I think it was a cell phone. Yeah. But no, it's just funny to watch them transition into cell phones being like normal.
Right. And then, major characters just disappearing for seasons at a time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm on season 5, which means season 5 and 6 were the highest rated, and then the movie Fight the Future fell between 5 and 6, and then it goes dramatically downhill from there.
And they don't reference. The thing I hate is you get back in season 6, and there's this like mid-season, or not mid-season, between season movie that was like so huge for lore implications. And then it's that you get back and it's like they don't talk about it. They don't reference it. I
will say that show did a reasonable job of bringing in new characters and making them not the worst ever.
I do not like. Is it Reyes?
Reyes. What's her name?
I like the actress. I don't know what her name is, but her character was.
Yeah, the character's annoying, but it's not as annoying and like low rent as most shows go.
You mean like in season 11?
Robbie Amell and the other guy, or
girl?
Was it Robbie?
It was Robbie Amell.
I mean, he's okay and stuff, but it wasn't good for that.
Season 9, season 10. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, Robbie. I mean, I like his older brother from Arrow, but
and then like the second movie is just fairly inexplicable.
We saw that in theater.
Yeah.
Theaters. For some reason, I thought there was a third movie. It should have been a third movie. They need to. I mean, they end the series on a cliffhanger now because of the second.
They gotta stop doing that. I mean, that's what they did with Walker, Texas Ranger, and now we'll never know.
We'll never know.
And the Pretender. Now we'll never know.
Especially since they rebooted Walker instead of giving Chuck Norris a continuation series like that 90s show. Before we move on, I saw Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness today. We're recording on Thursday.
Say that 10 times fast.
It came out. Andrew doesn't like the Marvel movies, but
I mean, all right.
Yeah, there's some good ones. But it's just like, they've announced there's like another 10 years worth of stuff already planned out. And I was sitting in the theater like during the credits thinking, I'm going to be 43 and they're still going to be pushing out Marvel movies. And I'm probably still going to be sitting in a theater by myself watching this.
There's just too much going on now. And I feel like I've missed too many of the movies to where I'm like, I don't know who the hell all these people are. Like why that guy's shooting stuff out of his forehead or what that lady's doing or why he's all red. Like I have no idea.
Yeah. So like to lead up to watching this, I went back and watched everything that Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Wong were in. So I watched Age of Ultron. Technically, I forgot to watch the post-credit scene in Captain America 2, Winter Soldier. I watched every Avenger movie from Ultron forward. I watched Doctor Strange. I watched the end of Shang-Chi. I watched all of WandaVision. I did my work, and it's still there's a lot, and then there's just multiverse. So there's like a lot of throwbacks to other properties and alternate timelines and stuff like that.
It's a lot. It's a lot to keep straight.
It's a lot.
If you're not invested like me, it's not. It's difficult.
Yeah, you're just sitting there thinking, why does I'll tell you off air, but spoiler of actor that you like show up. And
I feel like all of these actors are going to be like using walkers on set by the time all of these things.
I mean, Patrick Stewart's really old already.
Patrick
and that's
Stewart.
Not a spoiler. His voice is in the trailer.
Patrick Stewart.
All right. So, should we get into it?
Let's get into it. Hey, why don't you tell us what was going on in May of 1999? Oh, I love a 99 episode.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Oh, I know who it is. Okay, sorry.
No spoilers. Travel back with me, listeners, to May of 1999. On the 1st, SpongeBob SquarePants debuts on Nickelodeon. On the 2nd, John Elway retires from the NFL. On the 3rd, the 1999 Oklahoma tornado outbreak occurs. A week-long tornado event kills 36 and produces the highest wind record on Earth up to the time, I assume. On the 7th, jury finds the Jenny Jones Show and Warner Brothers liable for the death of Scott Amador. Do you remember Scott Amador?
You've referenced it before, but I didn't. I don't. This sounds familiar, I guess.
Yes. So he was the guy that he purposely deceived Jonathan Schmidt to appear on a same-sex crush episode. Jonathan Schmidt was his friend. Schmidt then goes home and kills Amador. Jury awards Amador's family $25 million.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, which is weird that they, I don't know. I find that strange that they were able to get that out of Jenny Jones and Warner Brothers.
Do you think Warner Brothers, like the checks, have a picture of like the Looney Tunes on it, like the WB logo with the Looney Tunes coming out of it?
Yes.
And it just is like damages written on it. $25 million.
Well, I assume it was they tied it in with American Express and Superman. Jerry Seinfeld. That was. Do you remember those commercials?
No,
we've talked about those commercials.
No, I don't remember anything.
We've talked on this show. We've talked about Jerry Seinfeld and Superman, voiced by Patrick Warburton. Peter did American Express commercials in the 90s, and then I guess this was in our first season, probably. On the 11th, Sabrina Carpenter is born. Do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is?
Isn't she that singer that was in Girl Meets World?
Yes. Can you tell me who she played on Girl Meets World? Can you tell me what Girl Meets World is?
It's a continuation reboot series of Boy Meets World.
Yes, it was a sequel series to Boy Meets World.
I'm going to guess that she plays the daughter of Corey and Topanga.
Good guess. You had a 50-50 shot there. She does not.
The girlfriend of the daughter of... I feel like that was the theme. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the actress is like binary now that play the daughter, or I think they are.
Which I'd like to point out has nothing to do with sexual orientation, but.
Then it's I don't remember.
I don't know who it is. I just literally have no idea.
She was the best friend. She was the Sean of the show. On the 11th, Madison Lintz is born. Apparently she's on The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Yes, I assume it's in a later season, as I've watched at least 3 of them out of 24. On the 13th, at E3, rumors of a new Nintendo console swirl around named Project Dolphin. Andrew, do you remember what Project Dolphin eventually turned into?
I guess it was the GameCube.
It was the GameCube.
Because that was the next console after the N64.
I guess that makes sense if you think logically.
The Sega Dreamcast.
Could have been the DS. Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, okay.
On the 8th. On the 18th, the third studio album from the Backstreet Boys, Millennium, is released. On the 21st, Susan Lucci, actress from... And you want to take a stab at it?
All My Children.
Do you know what All My Children is?
It was a soap opera.
Yes.
So on the ABC network?
Yes. Good pull.
Is this the woman who's like famous for slapping everybody?
I don't believe so, no.
Well, I think it might be because so I watched this show on Food Network called The Kitchen. It's like it's like a talk show, but they make recipes and stuff. And they had Susan Lucci on the episode as a guest, and at the end, one of the hosts requested that she slap them.
Maybe it was.
And then they did this really cheesy like soap reenactment where they like changed the camera angles and like then someone got slapped.
That's pretty good.
It's kind of funny.
On the 22nd, Cameron Baikondova is born. Does Andrew know who Cameron Baikondova is, or if they are male or female?
Ooh, neither, and I'm not sure.
Actually, that may be correct. I really should Google their personal pronouns before I do this these days. But she is an actress. She was from Gotham. She played young Catwoman to the young Batman in Gotham.
I feel like if I had known how it was spelled, I would have known it was a woman.
It's in front of you.
No, it's Camren.
Oh, did I mistype it in the notes?
Yeah.
My bad.
You spelled Cameron correctly. It's just spelled
the wrong
Cameron.
Gotcha. On the 25th, Brie Basinger.
Bassinger.
Breck Basinger is born. Do you know who Breck?
No. What is Breck short for? Brextifer?
Rebecca?
I don't know who that is.
She is the girl from Stargirl.
It's a woman? Oh my gosh. I can't.
Stargirl. And also apparently, I think the Nickelodeon shows The Haunted Hathaways and Bella and the Bulldogs. That actually sounds more Disney, honestly. But I think they're Nickelodeon shows. But she was recently on the CW's Stargirl as the lead Stargirl. On the 26th, Carrie Ingram. I don't know this one, so I don't think I should quiz you on this one unless you know who she is.
I have no idea.
I believe it's she. I really should write pronouns. Shireen Baratheon in Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'll never see that. Perfect.
Something neither of us watched. Well, never.
I won't. I mean, sword fighting skeletons. I'm not there.
The Mother of Dragons. Yeah. I'm not a big fantasy person either, which is weird because I'm all about the sci-fi. On the 27th, Lily Rose Depp is born. Want to take a stab at that one?
Related to... I have no idea.
Johnny Johnny Depp.
I assumed that. But
It's his daughter with a French model, I believe.
I mean, who doesn't have one of those, right? Am I right?
Only if you're lucky. On the 29th, Space Shuttle Discovery completes the first docking with the International Space Station. And
that's what she said. No, I don't even know. I'm sorry.
TV premiering and ending, actually just ending May 1999 on the 4th. News Radio, after a year with John Lovitz taking over for Phil Hartman. On the 16th, Smart Guy.
Oh, yeah, Smart Guy.
Do you remember who plays the Smart Guy?
No, not at all, but I remember that show. We watched it.
Yes. So it was the younger brother of Tia and Tamara Mallory.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say his first name is Taj?
Taj.
I think that's right. I don't know. You have the Google foo. On the 20th, the Wayne brothers. On the 21st, Millennium.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, Millennium. Isn't that one that was made by the same people who created the X-Files?
It's an X-Files spinoff, isn't it? Just like
Really?
the Lone Gunman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something to add to your rewatch.
Oh, it has Terry O'Quinn in it, who was in like several episodes of the X-Files.
Because it's an X-Files spinoff.
Yeah, but not as the same character.
Okay.
Like, he's like one of those characters who just was in like a bunch of random episodes as different people.
Uh-huh. I also spelled Millennium wrong. On the 21st, Love Boat, The Next Wave also ends. Oh, unfortunate for the Maori family. The 23rd, Sister also ends. That was Tia and Tamara's show.
Tia and Tamara, as I like to call it.
Yes. On the 24th, Mad About You ends before being revitalized in 2020. Revived in 2020. Also on the 24th, Miller's Place, which was a sequel to which teen drama from the 90s?
90210.
Nice.
Yeah,
See, you know things.
Mad About You, that was the one with Helen Hunt and Paul
Reiser.
Yeah.
Yes. And also starring Phoebe Buffay's sister. Twin sister. Well, not starring. She was a background.
Ursula
Buffay was played by Michelle from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah, it's like the Namely 90s Minute all over again.
Why can't I think of her name?
It is... Holy crap. Phoebe from Friends.
Angela Bassett.
No. Oh my gosh. Why is it escaping me?
Rachel E. Cook.
Oh, stop saying names. It's making it harder.
Monica from Friends.
This is painful.
Helen Keller.
Lisa Kudrow. Jeez, I could not think of it.
Also on the 25th, Clueless, the series ends, and Home Improvement as well. In the box office, on the 7th, we have The Mummy. On the 19th, we have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Ooh.
On the 24th, The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue on direct-to-video. And 28th, we have Notting Hill. Notting Hill. Cheerio. And in the Billboard charts, number 1 from May 1999. In from April is No Scrubs by TLC, which is a not favorite of Andrew's for the first week. And
I don't like that song.
You've said once or twice you don't appreciate that song because you feel like they're picking on the guy that's a little schlubby. This is, you can go back and, you know what, I'm gonna earmark this for.
That's the thing about this show is there's evidence. There's always evidence.
I'm gonna earmark this for the 2-year for next week. Andrew not liking songs.
Andrew not remembering something that he actually said. That can be hard to find.
To be fair, it's only something that's happened in like the last few weeks and multiple times this episode.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's because I'm working more than ever. Maybe I'm like tired and forgetting stuff.
That's true. You don't have the memory to spare.
My recall is poor. I don't have total recall. Ugh.
That was an 80s movie.
Damn
But it was. But it was on TNT in the 90s.
Okay. 1990. It's a 1990
Ooh,
film.
Nice.
Boom.
Nice. I think we talked about it on
Yeah, I think we did too. I remembered that. Watch now, we didn't talk about it.
I took a shot in the dark because I knew it was like on the cusp. And for the rest of the month and out through June is Living La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. Continuing on for the second full week of May 1999, we have at number 3, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. At number 4, we have Every Morning by Sugar Ray. Number 5 is Believe by Cher. Number 11 is Please Remember Me by Tim McGraw. I assume Andrew remembers that one.
Actually, I don't remember that song. I do like Tim McGraw to some degree, but
I've never heard of it before. I only put it on here for you. Number 12 is Slide by Goo Goo Dolls. Number 13 is What It's Like by Everlast. What It's Like by Everlast.
I don't love that song.
Is that the one like, then you really might know what it's like?
Yeah, it's not. I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like songs from that era and of that style. I don't like that song.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite. I wouldn't seek it out, but I think I listened. I liked it. Number 14, Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz. Number 20, The Hardest Thing by 98 Degrees.
It's the hardest.
The Hardest Thing by 98 Degrees. I just have a couple typos. I am typing with a sliced finger. Number 21, That Doesn't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain.
Canadian. Eh? She is.
I didn't know that. I thought she was a Cali girl. Number 23, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. Number 24, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. And number 25, Angel by Sarah McLachlan.
For just $38 a day,
you can listen to Namely 90s Minute. And now let's toss it across the pond to our friends from the UK, Gaz and Dange of the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow.
Good evening. Here are your headlines for May 1999 in the UK. ITV airs the first British Soap Awards. I Want It That Way hits UK number 1. Notting Hill is released in the UK cinemas.
I'm not entirely sure what you want me to say there, but I never want to hear you say that you want it that way. We'll have to wash your mouth out with soap. Stop with all the drama. Hit the cobbles and get out of my pub. Now back to those Namely boys.
Thank you, Dane, for the headlines, and thank you for that one, Gaz. If you'd like to follow up on these headlines, check out the segment What Happened Way Back When on this Thursday's episode of the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow. And stick around until the end, because Andrew and I do a weekly segment over on the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow called Quotely 90s, where we make Gaz and Dane guess a quote from a movie and, guess actors and stuff like that. Plus, we'll give you a sneak peek of what we're talking about on next Monday's episode. And now, your Namely 90s Minute for the week. Welcome back to our mid-episode break, Namely 90s Minute. Every week, we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of the release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we are looking back at another episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series titled Doctor Strange. The Sins of the Fathers Chapter 1, Doctor Strange, is the Season 3 premiere of Spider-Man the Animated Series, which begins with Spider-Man worried about Mary Jane Watson, who has gone missing after going to find her father. He then stumbles upon a bunch of flying ninjas breaking into the Sanctum Sanctorum to steal a magical artifact. We meet Wong, voiced by Sulu from Star Trek, as he tries to fight them off, and Spider-Man joins the fray. But it isn't until Doctor Strange comes in that the tides turn in their favor. The ninja attacking Spider-Man turns out to be the missing Mary Jane, who he follows back to Baron Mordo's Center for Reunification. Mordo is working for Dormammu, who wants the Wand of Watum. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of that. While Peter does research on the place, Doctor Strange gives his backstory to Wong. Apparently, Mordo has been brainwashing his followers into stealing things for him. So Peter infiltrates the center to rescue Mary Jane, who doesn't want to leave because she thinks she's been spending time with her father. Mordo brainwashes Spider-Man, and while Doctor Strange manages to snap him out of it, the rest of the brainwashed people manage to steal the artifact with the dumb alliterative name, which helps unleash Dormammu to their dimension. Doctor Strange, Wong, and Spider-Man stage an attack on Mordo's center while he's unleashing Dormammu. Doctor Strange and Mordo have a wizard battle until Dormammu possesses Mordo to turn the tide. Spider-Man and Strange beat them, and Mary Jane gets shown how much of a dirtbag her dad was by Strange before getting pulled into Dormammu's dark dimension to try to get her to bring him into her world. But she refuses Dormammu and they close the portal, and that was so much to pack into the 20-minute episode. That's Spider-Man the Animated Series episode, Doctor Strange in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show. Nope. And now back to the show.
Sorry,
and now back to the show. And
like
now back to the show.
7 takes just to get there. Anywhere you want to go?
Well, of these things, the one I've seen the most and know the most about would be The Mummy.
Oh, I'm surprised it's not SpongeBob SquarePants giving you
I
children.
watched a bit of it, but actually, no, the kids aren't watching it yet. It's a little bit old. It's a little bit old for them still. It's like Y7 plus.
Really?
Yeah. Then again, my kids have watched Jurassic Park, so yeah, you know.
New season comes out right after the movie.
Anyway,
it's not like they show the children being eaten on screen.
I always liked The Mummy.
I did too. Next topic. No.
Do you want me to read the blurb?
Sure, as long as you remember not to read the entire thing.
I'll read the first bullet.
Pick and choose what you think is relevant to the discussion.
The Mummy is a 1999 American fantasy action adventure film. It's a remake of the 1932 film of the same name, which I did not actually know. Starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, and Kevin J. O'Connor. That guy Arnold Vosloo, which is the I know him as.
Is he the Mummy?
He's the Mummy, but I know him as Habib Marwan in
24.
Season 2. 24.
Yes, that was Season 2 was the cocaine season.
I always liked that. That was 3. I always liked that guy and stuff.
Was it?
Let me go to the Wikipedia.
I guess it was Season 2 then.
Wikipedia.
The film follows adventurer Rick O'Connell as he travels to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead, with a librarian and her older brother. That is the younger brother for some reason, where they accidentally awaken Imhotep, a cursed high priest with supernatural powers.
Imhotep. Let me just do that.
And if they don't, they should. The Mummy was theatrically released on May 7th, 1999. Despite mixed reviews from critics, it was a commercial success and grossed over $416.4 million worldwide against a budget of $80 million.
Almost there. Habib Marwan, Season 4. Wow, way off.
Can you name, without looking at our sheet, what the sequels to The Mummy were?
The Mummy Returns.
Yes.
The Mummy Revolutions. And The Mummy, The College Years.
Okay, so the third movie, they were in China, and they had all the terracotta warriors.
Okay.
If that helps you.
No.
Because it's like a racist name.
It doesn't.
The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Oh boy. Light cultural appropriation there.
Plus the prequel. Based off The Mummy 2.
Didn't that have the Habib Marwan guy in it?
The third one?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, he wasn't. This is the one with The Rock. Yeah, I don't know the name, but it had The Rock in it.
Oh,
Dwayne
we're talking
Johnson.
about prequel. It's, what is his character's name?
I didn't see it. I don't know.
What does he look like?
Do they drive a like a turbocharged Mitsubishi out of an airplane?
The Rock is in The Mummy Returns as this character.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. Isn't that his first cast? Isn't that his first casting?
I think so. Outside of wrestling, yeah, the Scorpion King.
And then there was that hot trash fire with Tom Cruise in it, right?
Yeah, Tom Cruise and no one else worth mentioning. Russell Crowe was in it.
What?
They were trying to build out the cinematic, like the the horror movie cinematic universe. So
not gonna do it.
There was The Mummy. They had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was Russell Crowe's character. I think The Invisible Man is supposed to be a part of this like cinematic universe, which they did a reboot with the girl or the actress from the Scientologist one. She from Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men. I don't remember her name, but the Invisible Man reboot was really good, and it doesn't seem like it's a part of this universe because it's an actual horror movie. And it may be like that whole, how Wonder Woman actually did well and made people think we should actually continue the DCEU.
And then that whatever that mess of the 84 one was.
Yeah, that was a little later.
I mean, it was watchable, but
if you thought that was watchable, you should watch Moon Knight on Disney Plus, because you don't have to know anything else about the MCU. It's a standalone thing. There's Oscar Isaac acting against himself a lot. Very respectful of Egyptian culture.
The thing I will say is this was like Brendan Fraser in top acting form.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Brendan Fraser post. Nope, not going to throw him under the bus on that one. Yes, I am.
No.
Bamboozled. Wasn't he in Bamboozled? I think he was in Bamboozled.
I don't know.
He had blackface.
But I've seen this meme, and I think I sent it to you. And it's got a picture of like all the different characters in it from the movie, and it says, "My sexual orientation is the cast of The Mummy, 1999." It's just a picture of all the cast members. Did I say you that?
You did not.
I'll send you the link.
And then what else was he in? He was in something with the actress from the first Austin Powers. It was like a devil monkey or something. Do you remember that one?
No.
Wasn't he in a movie with an actual monkey too?
Who?
Brendan Fraser.
I don't know. The only thing I know that he's done is The Mummy.
Oh, really? Let's see. He was in George of the Jungle.
Oh yeah. I
George,
remember that.
George Monkey Bone. That's what I was thinking of.
Monkey Bone.
And he was in Encino Man. He was the caveman in Encino Man.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
We didn't even talk about The Mummy.
Did we not?
I mean,
The Mummy. What is there to say? Lots of guns, which is fun.
Yes, it felt like a more pulpy Indiana Jones, which is weird because Indiana Jones is kind of already pulpy.
Yeah,
but it hit that right balance of pulpy adventure and like campy cheesiness.
Oh yeah, Camp AF.
Yeah, I guess it was like if you took Indiana Jones and made it a little cheesier.
And the story is just horrendous. I mean, right? Very, very like rudimentary story to justify all the shooting.
Pretty much. Yeah. So let's grave rob and shoot natives is the plot of that movie. More or less, actually. But yeah, doesn't. Is it the first movie or the second movie where she gets possessed and by like the priestess?
I would say it's the second movie.
The love interest.
But I'm going to recommend, if you have not seen The Mummy, you should see it. It's great.
Yeah, the 90s one.
And then immediately skip all of the sequels and prequels.
The second one wasn't bad. The third one.
All right.
Well, I mean, they had the kid, and then there's the flying thing, and I guess they were an indigenous pygmy tribe in Egypt.
Can you say pygmy anymore? And then Brandon was canceled.
I think they were actually, though. It wasn't like short people or little people. It was anyway. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob SquarePants still is a Nickelodeon cartoon. Debuted apparently over 2 decades ago.
Wow.
5th longest running American animated series. Yeah. I remember I watched this premiere. I remember because it was on after the Kids' Choice Awards. And they're like, watch this preview for an upcoming new show called SpongeBob SquarePants. And my dad absolutely hated it.
Yeah, it's a dumb show. It's essentially, isn't it just like essentially some kid's fish tank
No.
where they live?
No, because he lives in a pineapple under the sea. Unless, I don't know. I didn't watch past like the first season.
I mean, yeah. It's a really, really annoying show, but there are some funny things in it. But Kayla has some things memorized from it that she'll like occasionally reference, and it's really kind of funny.
Like I can tell you, like they replayed the first few episodes so often that I remember. Like there's the jellyfishing episode. There's the SpongeBob gets his boating license, which they drive boats underwater as cars. And there's the driver's ed teacher was a pufferfish, and every time he crashes, she would inflate like an airbag.
Inflate.
Yeah. SpongeBob worked at the Krusty Krab from Mr. Krabs with Squidward. They sold Krabby Patties, and Plankton was their rival from the Chum Buckets.
Oh, there's also a meme about how he's setting like an unattainable standard for a thigh gap because he has these 2 little stick legs that are really far apart.
That's pretty good.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's everything I can remember from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
Also, the voice of Mr. Krabs is like some prodigious or like famous voice actor.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Clancy
Brown.
Yeah.
But what do I know him from?
Everything. Yeah. I was getting close to it when I wasn't trying earlier.
Just a few credits.
Just a few. Best known for
SquarePants. 249 episodes. Okay, no, it's not that good.
Oh, Shawshank. He was in Shawshank Redemption.
And Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure TV series.
He's Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor in the DC animated
Robot
universe.
Chicken. Wow.
He's the voice of Surtur in Thor Ragnarok. He's Savage Opress in Star Wars Clone Wars.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2012 TV series.
He's the villain in Crash Bandicoot franchise. Dr. Neocortex.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
He just has that deep voice. He was also apparently in Dexter New Blood.
This guy is busy.
Oh, he was one of the guys in Starship Troopers.
He's like prolific.
Yeah. He's had some.
It's this guy. He was in ER. That's Dr. Ellis West, love interest of Carrie Weaver.
I have no idea who those people are.
Well, now you'll know.
Now I'll know. Oh yeah, he was in The Flash recently, or not recently, in like the early seasons. And your favorite Chicago PD for 3 episodes. SpongeBob.
The only reason I don't like that whole franchise, honestly, other than it's terrible, is that Jesse Spencer has the worst American accent ever, because I just got done watching him on House with his like Australian accent.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just god awful American accent.
Blimey, let's get to the burger place.
Oh gosh, blimey. That's funny. I have nothing else to say about SpongeBob. Somehow I'm talking about Clancy Brown. And then House.
Yeah, that's kind of how our show goes. What was the quote from Quotely 90s? You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. Yes, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, kicked off the Star Wars prequels in May of 1999. Starring Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, Ewan McGregor as young Obi-Wan Kenobi, Natalie Portman as Padme, also Queen Amidala. Fun fact, her last name is not Amidala. Jake Lloyd.
Amadeus. Oh, Amidala. Okay. I'm going to do something here. How about Natalie Portmanteau, which is a portmanteau of portmanteau and Portman. I feel like I'm in the movie Inception right now. Portmanteauception.
I feel like that's cheating.
Which is also a portmanteau. Ah!
I feel like you can't use the same word in the portmanteau as the new word.
I'll do what I want. It's my body. It's my choice. I'm making fun of Republicans and not wanting to get the vaccine, to be clear.
Yes, not the fact that we are supporting...
Just that the supreme hypocrisy of like systemically persecuting women while holding up a sign because you can't get a haircut.
Yes.
Or you have to get a stupid vaccine. Sorry.
Yes. Support women's reproductive rights.
Yes.
And right to choose. Jake Lloyd, who is best known to you as the kid from Jingle.
Oh yeah, boy, he's come a long way.
Jingle All the Way. Ian McDermott, Anthony as Senator Palpatine, Anthony Daniels. Yes.
What?
Yeah, you said.
Nope.
Nope. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, Kenny Baker as R2-D2. I have no idea who Cornelia August was. And Frank Oz as the voice of Yoda. Fun fact, they went back and so they did a physical puppet for Yoda in episode 1. I don't know if you remember this, which looked terrible. And they went back and made him CG like the next
As
two.
he should have been, yeah.
Yeah. Somehow trying to make Yoda look younger, it just made him look freaking creepy.
Yeah, you're like, kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire. It was bad. It's set 32 years before the original Star Wars trilogy, during the era of the Galactic Republic. What?
I looked up the puppet. Jeez.
It's so
I think
bad.
it's shit scary. That's
yeah. It's supposed to be like 32-year difference.
Oh God, that's terrifying. Someone fed him after midnight or got him wet.
Yes, exactly.
There's one where he's just like smoking a blunt.
I'm surprised you know that reference.
Well, I forgot what reference I made.
That's Gremlins.
Gremlins, yes.
And yeah, so they're trying to protect Padme Amidala during a blockade of her planet, where the blockade is just literally a ring around the planet. No one thought to just go in on the poles and help these people.
Couldn't they shoot toward the poles though?
They could, but you're a ship.
I just feel like when the thing you're blockading is a sphere, it's not a blockade unless you're fully encapsulating it.
Which they were not. And then, it featured Darth Maul as the new Sith apprentice with the dual lightsabers that went zoom.
I'm sorry, there's just no way you're not immediately cutting yourself in half with that thing.
Fun fact, he did get cut in half, except with a regular lightsaber from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, I have a correction, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The grandma from Dante's Peak does not melt in half by lava. She is pushing the boat in the sea of It's like a lake of like acidic water, and then her bottom half melts. The bottom half melts. It's just a matter of is it in acidic water or in lava? It's in water. Kayla informed me of this as we talked about the movie Dante's Peak, and I explained to her the concept of every disaster movie. They're like, there's no way it could erupt. And it's like, well, it's a volcano, so it literally could erupt at any time.
Because it's a volcano. I feel like I was supposed to have a correction for this week, but I completely forgot what it was. That reminds me. I am moderating. I need to remember that I'm moderating. Oh, it's not this weekend. It's next weekend. Never mind. The Phantom Menace. It was released 16 years after Return of the Jedi. They started using CG in this. Oh, Jar Jar Binks. They didn't mention the poor actor that had to play Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, no.
Who became suicidal because of the amount of hate and vitriol Star Wars fans.
This movie was entirely made on green screen, wasn't it? It was like too much.
No, this one. So this one was still like heavily practical. It was the second one, Attack of the Clones. That was just entirely green and blue screen, except for like what they were standing on, and you can tell by the quality of the film.
Yeah.
No, this one was still decent. People like this one. And I just want to say there are Star Wars fans that like probably ones that were a little bit like just slightly younger than us that started with the prequels and are like, I went back and watched the original trilogy and I couldn't do it. The graphics were terrible. And I was like, I should smack you right now.
So we saw this together.
Did we?
Your dad took us to this.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that. I couldn't remember. I remember Attack
of the there was a collectible cup involved that we got.
Yes.
But what I remember from this movie is altogether way too much time spent on the pod racing aspect.
Yes. But that's how they won Anakin, which he was a slave, and so was his mom.
Yes, trading people.
Now this is pod racing. Poor Jake. Jake Lloyd got schizophrenia from all the hate that he received.
Schizophrenia?
Oh, I mean, he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
It's
he developed schizophrenia over time.
Let me guess, when he was about 18 to 20 years old?
Probably, yeah. Why?
That's when you get it.
Okay. Well, I just assumed it was because of the hate and vitriol he received from this movie.
Yeah, the kid was super annoying.
Excellent.
I always forget Liam Neeson was in it because I like Liam Neeson in all those movies that are exactly like Taken that he stars in.
Yes, but not Taken. Taken's terrible.
No, it's good.
I was kidding. Yeah, he was in it. I do remember now asking to drag you along to see Star Wars. The only one I remember this, or the only one that I remember before you mentioned that was we had a band field trip for Attack of the Clones, and then we abandoned my poor father who wanted to sit higher up in the theater to see better, and me and my friends on the band field trip sat closer to the screen because, you know, as a terrible preteen middle schooler, that's what you do to your parents. Yeah, Phantom Menace, great music. The John Williams always kills it.
Heck yeah.
He brought Duel of the Fates to this. I can gush on about
I know
about Star Wars and Phantom Menace. Prequels sucked. This one's okay. Attack of the Clones is the worst. Revenge of the Sith is not good. George Lucas.
Sorry, that's Revenge of the Sixth.
Oh yes, which we're recording on Revenge of the Fifth today. Still say 6 makes more sense, even though there's a day in between, because it's only one.
Do we need more
difference.
than one day?
No. Do we need one day?
No.
Especially since Star Wars Celebrations at the end of the month. Which is the big fan expo, the official fan expo where they release all the trailers and stuff.
The National Day of Lisping.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Hey, you guys ever heard about the fourth?
Also, just while I have this platform here, the season finale of Picard was meh, and the Strange New Worlds has potential. That's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday, unless you think we should go further. We've gone a bit long.
I have things to do.
Okay. Next week is the 2-year special, y'all. Get ready to look back at Year 2 of Namely 90s. And check this week's episode description for our supplemental Spotify playlist curated by yours truly. And find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s90s, or find our personal accounts at bshwitty and at NamelyAndrew. And tell us what you want to talk us to.
Tell us to talk about what I saw next episode.
Exactly. If you'd like to support the show, which no one does apparently, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with an A90S. And finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, The Force, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
Maybe we should have like a fundraiser on our Patreon where, like, if we raise enough money, we'll stop doing accents on the show.